All right, Katrin, what should a founder do on a daily basis to stop getting in the way of success?
For me, a morning and an evening routine is very important. Yeah, how I start the day also determines how I sleep. And a routine that keeps the body healthy is important. And the word routine considers the word security in the sense of that this is always there. And this is a basic psychological need we have that must be fulfilled to a certain extent so that the body can deal with uncertainty. When I coach founders, yeah, they have a cool idea and wants to bring it into the world. And to do this, they need to be healthy, fit, present, creative. And this often is, yeah, taken for granted or down prioritized. So sometimes I have clients, they slipped already into a burnout. Yeah. And also when it comes to leading other people, um, it's people follow powerful people, yeah, with energy. And so it's about being able to think clearly, being able to be present, being able to be creative. And I have routines on yeah, for myself,
Yeah.
considering of different building blocks. Of course, it's about drinking, looking into the light. So it has an amazing effect on the sleep. Yeah, you wouldn't imagine, but there
Yeah.
are really great videos about it. Light exercise, in addition to weight training 3 times a week. I do breathing exercises, cold shower,
All right.
and yes, and a power and protein shake. Yeah. And it's also very important to take a pause.
Mhm.
Yeah, take time to feel. And here it's about to feel tensions. Um, then I can consciously decide what to do with it. Otherwise, I run the risk of letting tensions build up inside me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to tidy up regularly, plus tensions give important clues that are worth looking at so that they don't block me, the team, or the whole organization. When I coach a founder team, for instance, they learn about tensions because they have to realize that there are tensions. They have to have a name for it and have to know where to address and how to address. Yeah. And attention is a sense that there is a difference between the way things are and the way they should be.
Mhm.
And perceiving these tensions gives everybody the opportunity to improve, to optimize. And to do this, one must be willing to give oneself space and time for oneself. And if there are interpersonal tensions, a team should give itself time and space so that everyone can address the tensions therein. And in my experience, this is the first step. A team recognizes how valuable tensions are and is not afraid to address them. And this they can learn. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm talking about 4 types of tensions
Yeah.
that cover about all possible problems. Yeah. First, the tensions within the self. So that's part of the morning routine that I just sit down, take a pause. Do I feel insecurities within myself? Do I have different expectations of goals, of the way we work together? What task do I have? Do I want other tasks? Am I allowed to decide? Yeah. And you can feel it in your body. I think everybody knows this, yeah, in the stomach or in the throat, or we know, yeah, how it feels when there is something wrong.
Mhm.
And just to recognize it, to feel it, to name it, and then to learn where to address it, it's important. So The second type of tension could be a collective tension. This is about collectively experienced stress, fear, grief, such as during the pandemic or financial pressure from investors or the market situation. And then the third type is tensions in the system. So these tensions occur when, for example, it is not clear who does which task, or the strategy is not clear, what is missing in the system so that it runs smoothly and we can achieve our goals. So with this third type, I look into the organization and into the processes and structures, into the defined roles. And the fourth type is tensions between the founders, for instance, between a team. Yeah, so interpersonal tensions. And here a team has to take time as well to speak about tensions and speak about their relationships and how they create relationships. And very often, not just founders, also executives I coach, they talk about operational stuff in their meetings, yeah, what to do and how to do, and they talk about their KPIs and so on and so on, but they are not used to talk about their relationships, yeah, and their team dynamic and what atmosphere they create together, yeah, and it's very helpful when a team is able to do that. And it's very under prioritized, or we haven't learned it. Yeah, in my experience, it should be a school subject already, so that kids learn how to feel tensions, how to address them, and especially interpersonal and interrelational tensions. And being curious, yeah, not being offended when there is a tension, being curious because there could be a really important clue behind it. And my teams, they learn to be curious, they learn to look at the dynamic they create together, because everybody has an impact on that dynamic. Nobody is to blame, yeah. And this we really have to learn, because we learned always to look at someone we can blame, yeah. We are used to look at mistakes, yeah. And here it's really about being curious, what kind of dynamic we created together and what impact everybody had, because the dynamic also comes back to us, so we react on that dynamic. And everybody knows we react in different teams differently, because the dynamic is in every team different.
Yeah. All right, so we should take away the shame and the guilt and the oh, it's too negative, I don't want to dwell, all of these things, and start with curiosity. What's going on here? Let's examine it.
So I really advise every team, I have to know that I can bring that tension into the next meeting. Otherwise, we go into the kitchen and talk to our colleague and behind the back of our executive and so on and so on. And it's not then transparency, and we don't create then a culture of trust. And also with a team, when a team is used to talk about questions or tensions, and to talk about defensive modes, for instance, it's a very, very famous topic in team coachings, defensive modes, and how we attack each other, yeah, and how can we talk and communicate very openly, very honestly, and not creating defensive mode. So it's when you are trained in kind of addressing tensions like this, you would do it with everybody. I do it with my kids, my husband, everybody. Yeah. So it's not always easy, and of course it's not always working, but the more you are used to do it, the easier it gets. Yeah. And maybe one concept I really would love to share here. because we are talking about early startups, and it's very valuable for an early startup and for a founder to know one concept. And I wrote also an article about it, why it's so important. Every company, project, or event always goes back to a single source. This means the person who gave life to an idea and was the first to risk something, to realize their vision. Yeah. And even in case where common ownership is declared, because we had the idea together, a close examination of the path of creation always leads to a specific person. And the person who acts as a source has an energetic connection to the endeavor, quite different from any other member in the organization or team. So the source is not simply the person who came up with the idea, but who took the initial risk and invested energy in making the idea a reality. And as a result, the source has an intuitive knowledge of the next steps. So they have a deep natural access to what is needed, and will sometimes have strong reactions if this intuitive knowledge is not appreciated by other team members. And if this concept of the source is not known, not taken into account, it can lead to problems.
Mhm.
The source then fights for recognition. They want to assert their energy and ideas. They isolate themselves. They do not seem to be in their power. They appear emotionally unpredictable and are thus perceived as a difficult one. So I researched 11 founder teams, and I really found when the source is not recognized, when the source didn't take their place, then the team always tells me, oh, one of us is a difficult one. Yeah. And when I examined it a bit further, then it was always a source. Yeah. And sometimes founder asked me, should I take a co-founder on board or not? One thing is really to consider. Sometimes I observe that then a source, a founder, takes a co-founder on board and thinks, oh, the co-founder must feel also very included. So I'm ready for compromises, yeah, because my co-founder also have to have the feeling that he is a founder. But these compromises always lead to problems, because the source in the end is not happy with compromises, because the source has a really strong feeling what he wants to bring into the world.
Yeah.
That's why he took the first risky step to found a company. So my advice is here really that the source has to take their place, and a co-founder has to accept the source and rather think about a valuable sub-source. But the sub-source has always to lead into the source concept and not lead to another way, to a compromise, you know. So in my work as a coach, I have encountered time and again the dilemma of how, when a startup founder is blocked in terms of group dynamic, the whole organization of the startup is blocked. And so this can result in a full collapse of the startup with all the financial fallout that entails, and often in the end, then a dream. So when we come back to tensions, yeah, it's really important that the founder team learns to address tensions. And one tension, interpersonal tension, can be that the source is not happy. Yeah. And that's why it's really important to consider the source.
Wonderful, Katrin. How to stop getting in the way of your own success. Basically, you need to take care of yourself.
Mhm.
in all directions, and body and mind, and
Yeah.
preferably you could do that in a routine
Yeah.
setting and addressing the hidden needs, the frustration, and so on, so you can tackle the problems head on and make sure to make a regular space for the
Yeah.
interpersonal tensions as well, so that it is not even a question that you have to speak about it. So you create a new culture of sharing and improving together.
Perfect. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Katrin. I really appreciate your advice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.